Welcome to the Top Business Leaders Show, powered by Rise 25 Media. We feature top founders, executives, and business leaders from all over the world.
Chad Franzen here, co-host for this show where we feature top restaurateurs, investors, and business leaders. This episode is brought to you by, this is part of our SpotOn Series. SpotOn has the best-in-class payment platform for retail, and they have a flagship solution called SpotOn Restaurant, where they combine marketing, software, and payments all in one. They've served everyone from larger chains like Subway and Dairy Queen to small mom-and-pop restaurants. To learn more, go to spoton.com. This episode is brought to you by Rise 25. We help B2B businesses to get ROI, clients, referrals, and strategic partnerships through Done For You podcasts. If you have a B2B business and want to build great relationships with clients, referral partners, and thought leaders in your space, there's no better way to do it than through podcasts and content marketing. To learn more, go to rise25media.com or email us at support@rise25media.com. Kyle Noonan, the owner and CEO of FreeRange Concepts, is an American entrepreneur, speaker, television personality, and creative tastemaker. He was first known as an entrepreneur who grew his hospitality and entertainment company to a $50 million company in 5 short years and has been described as innovative as he is engaging by the New York Times. Kyle, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
Chad, I'm well. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate the time.
Good. Hey, my pleasure. Tell me, what is FreeRange Concepts and how did you get involved?
Sure. So FreeRange Concepts is a hospitality and entertainment-based company. We're located in Dallas, Texas, and we have restaurants and venues all throughout the state of Texas. And soon we will be, as we say, crossing the borders and going outside of the state of Texas to hopefully maybe a state somewhere near you. And we started the company in 2011. It was my college roommate and I. We were SMU students here in Dallas, Texas, and we went our own ways professionally after college. But personally, we were and still are thick as thieves. We've been best friends since we were 18 years old. And about 10 years after college, we decided it was time to join forces and start FreeRange Concepts. Josh he was a finance major and went into the Wall Street investment banking world, and then I was an art major and went into the hospitality space. And so about 2011 is when we decided to leave our respective careers and form FreeRange Concepts, and the rest is history, as they say.
So FreeRange Concepts is a conglomeration of multiple brands. Did you guys start those brands or did you just invest in them?
No, all of our brands, we currently own 5 different brands. All of them were created by us. They were our brainchild, and they're certainly our babies that we've loved to see grow. Our first brand was Bowl and Barrel, which is a high-end boutique bowling alley restaurant and bar. And we currently have 3 of those throughout Texas, at Dallas, San Antonio, and Houston. And then our second concept that we opened 6 months later was a concept called Mutts Canine Cantina, which is a restaurant and bar that overlooks a private membership-based dog park. So you can come in and your dog can run around, and we have bark rangers in the park taking care of the dogs, and you can sit there and have a margarita under a tree while your dog gets to socialize and exercise and do all that good stuff. So we started that, like I said, 6 months after we opened Bowl and Barrel, and we currently have 3 of those, all in the DFW market. And then our next concept that we opened 3 months after that, so we're talking in a 9-month span, we opened three very unique concepts. Our third concept is called the Rustic, which is a restaurant and bar that overlooks a 3,000 person outdoor concert venue. And we currently have 4 of those in Texas. And then our next concept is the General Public, which is a whiskey-centric American gastropub that we have 2 of those in San Antonio and Houston. And then finally, we just opened this year our first dip into Tex-Mex, which is called Joe Leo's Fine Tex-Mex. It's named after my grandfather. His name is Joe Leo Romero. And we opened that on Cinco de Mayo of this year. And that's going gangbusters as well. So those are our brands. and we're really proud of them. We've created them all, and we operate them, and we love them.
Yeah, wow, it's amazing that you opened that many and started that many concepts in such a relatively short period of time. What was your background prior to, like, kind of your restaurant background prior to Free Range Concepts?
Sure. So I love telling the story. People ask how I got in the restaurant space, and I always say, because it's true, I got into it for a girl. I was in college, and I asked a girl on a date, and she said yes, surprisingly. And I thought that's great. And then I realized, I got to have money to take her on a date. So I called my dad and asked him for money, and he said what I will say to my son: go get a job. And so I did, and I got a job waiting tables at a company called Pappas Restaurants, Papado, Pappasitos, Pappas Brothers Steakhouse. They're a Texas-based company, and I started waiting tables for them in college, and ended up working my way up through the corporate ranks, and was with them for 13 years before I left to start my own venture, which is Free Range Concepts.
So what do you think made your company so successful in such a relatively short period of time?
Well, I mean, I think it really just comes down to the fact that we have been able, because they are unique brands, and they kind of stand out in the marketplace. We've been able to attract, obviously, the consumer, but more importantly, or as importantly, the talent to help us grow. So we have a tremendous team, and there's no chance that we would have grown at all, and certainly not to the degree which we did without the key players in place.
What do you look for when you're looking for team members that you value so thoroughly?
Sure, that's a great question. I don't care about background. I don't care about experience. The only thing I really care about is, do you have a servant's mindset? Do you have an ability or a desire to take care of people? And I think because that's ultimately what the restaurant business is about. It's about people taking care of people. And if you're somebody that wants to take care of other people, you will excel in our business, and particularly within our company, because that's what we're all about. And when we find that individual, we embrace them and get them into the family as quick as we can.
So what came first, Bowl and Barrel or Free Range Concepts?
So our platform was, let's create dynamic, unique brands that aren't just about the food and service, but really about the experience. Because we feel like, and we say this all the time internally, that everybody's Miller Lite tastes the same. It's about the experience in which you consume that Miller Lite that makes the difference. And so our thesis was, let's have these experience-based brands. And that was our philosophy from day one when we created Free Range Concepts. So we created that idea, or that philosophy, and then we started plugging in, okay, what are people passionate about? They're passionate about their dogs. They're passionate about music. They're passionate about sports. They're passionate about, in Texas, they're passionate about Tex-Mex. They're passionate about, that whiskey drinker is really passionate about whiskey. And so let's build concepts around those things that people are passionate about.
So how did your vision for Bowl and Barrel come about then?
Well, people love sports. People love competition. We actually didn't know anything about the bowling space when we started out, and so what we did is we hired a consultant who understands bowling, who could educate us, and he did a market analysis, and we realized that there were some holes in some of the markets here in Texas where there was this opportunity to bring in a high-end elevated experience into urban dense areas where there's a lot of corporate business, and people are not wanting to just go and have just a normal, let's go sit at a bar and drink, but let's go do something and be active. And that's how Bowl and Barrel came about. And as they say, it's worked out pretty nicely for us.
Yeah. So what were the early days like? Was it popular right away because it was unique?
Yeah, So I would not advise anybody to try and open 3 concepts within 9 months. That was not our intention. That was just the way the projects fell in line. Some were delayed, some were pushed up, and it just kind of all came about. But when we opened, I'll never forget when we opened Bowl and Barrel. Our first night, we had 1,500 people come through our doors that night.
Oh, wow.
And so it was really like drinking water out of a fire hose from day one. And I'll be the first to admit that we didn't do a great job. We just weren't quite prepared for that level of business and that volume so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And it took us. We took our lumps and had to really work hard for the next year or so after that to regain the trust of the consumer.
What would you say are maybe some learning experiences that you had as a result of that, specifically?
Well, I think I think just going through the experiences and that having the wisdom under your belt of experience certainly helps. But I think it was Mike Tyson that said everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And sometimes you get punched in the mouth and you just have to get up and weather the storm and fight back.
So how did the idea for Mutts Canine Cantina come about then?
Yeah, great concept. Again, fitting within the philosophy of experience-based dining. My partner and I were sitting at a local cafe here in Dallas and saw a woman with her dog, and she tied it up to a chair, and the dog saw a squirrel and the dog ran out and dragged the chair with her or with him. And that was our aha moment where we said, you know what, maybe there is an opportunity for us to create a restaurant that is not dog friendly, but that's about the dogs and that's truly built for the pet.
Would you say that you learned a lot from your previous experience with Bowl and Barrel that made Mutts easier upon opening?
Yes, certainly. I mean, each opening we've had has gotten easier. We've done 16 openings now, and each one has certainly gotten easier. A lot of that, again, comes from just the talent we have in place now. I mean, we've been able to build a team, and this has been a really interesting evolution for me in my professional career. Is seeing, you first start out with a business idea, and it was really just myself and my business partner in my home office writing a business plan, and that was our quote unquote company at the time, him and I. Mm-hmm. And then it went to hiring a few people, and I use the analogy of you have a dam with 20 leaks in it, but you only have 5 fingers to plug those leaks. And so we were, just all running around trying to plug leaks and keep the dam from breaking. And so then, now you have a little small company, and then you go to a big company. And that transition has been really interesting, where now all of a sudden you not only have enough fingers for the dam, for the holes in the dam, but you have backup fingers and teams behind those fingers to plug the dam. And so really building the infrastructure and the culture and keeping everybody, as you get bigger and add more and more people to the team, keeping everybody aligned and still focused on that single focus, which is our mission statement.
How do you kind of build a culture where you want people to work hard, but for the guest, it's kind of coming to a party or coming to relax or whatever? How do you kind of build that culture so everybody has fun, but everybody works hard?
I mean, again, it goes back to the sense of servitude and hospitality. If you're somebody that loves to take care of people, it's fun to do that. And I mean, it's an age-old analogy in the hospitality space in the restaurant world that it's, imagine you're throwing a party at your house and approaching it that way, because that's what you're doing every night. And if you love doing that, if you love hosting people at your house, then it might be stressful, it might be a lot of work, but you're going to enjoy it. And the same is true in the public sphere, in the restaurant space. If you love doing it, It might be a lot of work, but it's still a lot of fun. And the biggest thing for us is just really being focused on the singular thing that we're here to do. And so we talk about our mission statement every day in every pre-shift meeting.
Is that something you kind of do? I mean, I know you're kind of in charge of 16 locations. Are you still able to kind of lead by example in that respect?
I mean, I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
I guess you'd have to ask those around me, but I certainly hope so. Again, I mean, it's what you focus on every day, what you live and breathe and eat and sleep. And I certainly do that. And I know our team does it, which is a tremendous advantage for us going out in the marketplace every day to try and take care of guests. We're all aligned under our core mission that we start and end every meeting with. It makes it a lot easier.
How has COVID kind of affected or changed the way FreeRange Concepts operates and all of your brands operate?
Well, I can tell you from my standpoint, this is maybe more personal than professional, but it's made me a heck of a lot more grateful. I'll never forget the day I woke up and we were shut down across the board. And I was like, I had a $60 million company that went to zero overnight. And what do we do? What does this mean? And so, what is it? You never really fully appreciate something until you lose it. Mm-hmm. I can tell you, myself and our whole team is just really grateful to have what we have and grateful that we were able to weather the storm.
Was there anything that you did or changed to get through it or to survive?
No, because I mean our philosophy was sound, and we were here to create experiential dining. And I felt like if we tried to alter too much what we were there to try and achieve, then that was going to take us off of really what we were good at. I'm sure we've all made small edits to our business, whether it's, some places have gotten rid of menus and went to QR codes and, little things like that. But all in all, I mean, it's the same business. It's hot food, it's cold drinks, it's people taking care of people, providing a clean, safe work and dining environment, and you'll be fine if you do those things.
What would you say is a moment that you're particularly proud of in your history with FreeRange Concepts?
Well, I mean, I could point to a tremendous amount of moments, whether it's all of the money we've raised through charitable actions and donations, and or whether it's the talent development that we've had, where I've seen somebody that might start with us as an entry level hourly position that works up through the ranks of our company is now a six-figure team member, or just the impact in community and people's lives, and whether it's somebody getting married or getting engaged at one of our restaurants and thinking that this is the place that they chose to do that at, that's obviously means something to them, which certainly means something to me. But I think all in all, I would just say, because of COVID, being able to retain all of our team members, not have to furlough anybody, and not have to lose anybody in the process. And when we reopen, bring everybody back, that was really just a proud moment, because it was scary for all of us. And what I really pulled from that experience personally, and I think we all did, is going through scary times alone are a lot scarier. But if you're going through a scary time with a good group of people whether it's friends or family or team members that you love and trust and can count on, and they know you can count on them too. That makes it a lot more meaningful.
I have one more question for you, but first, how can people find out more about FreeRange Concepts and all of your brands?
Sure. I mean, the internet is alive and well. So freerangeconcepts.com is our website. Also, you can follow me on social media at Kyle Noonan, which I do quite a bit of updates on that. So yeah, it's not hard to find us.
Okay, great. Last question for you. Who or where kind of instilled this servant and team-oriented mentality that has been so successful for you?
I think it was just my upbringing. I don't know if it was one person in particular. My family just was that way. And I didn't know any different. And it wasn't like my mom was that way and my dad wasn't, or my grandfather. My family was that way. And that's just what I knew. So I didn't really I don't know that I had a choice. That was just who I was brought up to be.
All right. Well, it's definitely paid off. Hey, Kyle, it's been great talking to you. I appreciate hearing all your stories and your insights. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Top Business Leaders Show, powered by Rise 25. Visit rise25.com to check out more episodes of the show and to learn more about how you can start your own podcast.